Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back because, okay, so here we are. Sometimes, you just disappear for days on end because there's really nothing to talk about. And then suddenly, bam, 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 there's so many things to talk about. So here's another topic that's coming up and rising. And I need to make it very clear as to where I stand and what I'm trying to say. So please do not try to, bring your own assumptions or reach your own conclusions or make your own judgments, which is what our people are very, very, very prone to do. And they're such experts at always jumping the gun, always jumping to conclusions, always creating non existent references to contexts that do not exist. I will say again, non existent means do not exist. So let's move on then. Let's start. There's this, I got these messages. To be honest, I actually did not even know or care much, because when I got those messages that, oh, let's stop this vulgarity, let's stop vulgar dramas and all. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all for it anyway. For the past 15 years, the reason I've never watched any Desi drama, any Pakistani drama, is because to me, 15 years ago, they had already lost their quality, their standard, their storytelling, in my eyes. So I stopped watching anything and everything to do with India, Pakistan, 15 years ago, basically. So I actually even stopped watching American, British, basically English, media. About maybe I'm doing a lot. I'm sorry. About 10 years ago, I guess, at least. So, and that is because, first of all, I found them unoriginal, I found them boring, I found that they just decided to take on one theme and they decided to put everything under that theme. It was getting monotonous, it was getting unoriginal, it was getting moronic, it was getting ridiculous. And I'm talking about India, I'm talking about Pakistan, I'm talking about America, I'm talking about British, I'm talking about the Canadians, I'm talking about all of them. Yes, no, but in Canada, actually, I still enjoyed watching some of their stuff, like, the Murdoch mysteries and stuff like that. But, you can only watch so much of Murdoch mysteries. When it hit the latest seasons, I just stopped watching. Because, again, it became a bit, it started becoming a little more monotonous and cliche and all. So, point being, when people started, telling me to share these messages, spread the word that, we should just stop, put an end to all this vulgarity and all. And I was like, okay, they're probably talking about how vulgar our dramas have become, and I agree with that totally. So yeah, because listen, the whole world clamored, literally clamored. I remember when we used to be overseas Pakistanis, when we used to live abroad. Whenever we would come to Pakistan for holidays, people would specifically ask us to get them videotapes of Pakistani dramas. Okay. And even in India, the popularity of Pakistani dramas is still greater than that of Indian dramas, because Indian dramas, let's be frank, are rubbish. But let's be even more frank, those rubbish dramas transferred themselves into the Pakistani media. So Pakistan started producing that same rubbish, which is why I stopped watching. And then because, there's a lot of, as usual, monopoly, and there's a lot of nepotism and parachuting even in the media, and there's a lot of corruption. So, you have these certain people who work with certain people to give certain people a lot of benefits, and that is why original stories stopped coming in. Keep in mind that the reason why Pakistani dramas were so famous worldwide, although yes, I know people will argue that they still are very famous worldwide, but let me just, put that in perspective. The reason why they were so famous before is because you could actually sit down with your families and watch those dramas, and you could enjoy it. It was a family time. Pakistani drama time was family time, 8 to 9 p.m. pre-watershed. That was your family time. You would sit with your family. That was the one thing that you would all enjoy together, right? And we had great writers, we had great actors. And you know why? Again, mostly it's because you had the educated, the cream, the students, they were the ones who were involved in the media. And some may argue that yes, even more students have gotten involved today and all, but no, I'm sorry, but from the direction to the production to the writing to the acting, everybody that used to be involved were pretty educated. They were the creme de la creme, the of their subjects. They were, you had very good people from very good families who understood the art and who understood what they were supposed to do. You had people who had literally studied media who were entering into media. You had people from NCA entering into the media, the National College of Arts. You had people from Punjab University's, arts department. You had, people like that. You had educated people who worked on literature, involved in the media. That's why we had such amazing dramas. We had writers like Hasina Moin, so Fatma Suraya Bajia, we had writers like those. Now, and we had always notice our most famous dramas, most of them, especially by Hasina Moin, they were always female protagonists. We always had female leads, and they were such, chef's kiss female leads. They were amazing, and it was that time. You're talking about the 80s, you're talking about the 90s. Imagine you're talking about 80s and 90s when you had female dominant dramas, right? Even in America and in Britain and in Canada, they never produced such kind of female dominating or dominant dramas that the way not even India never did anyway. And that is what Pakistan always did. Notice that. Just notice the difference. That's why I always say we are regressing. As a civilization, globally, we're regressing, but as a civilization in Pakistan, too, we have been rapidly regressing, right? Imagine that in the 80s and in the 90s, you had female leads, you had female dominant dramas, and they were amazing dramas. Those women, they were amazing. Their characters were kick-ass characters. They were funny, they were fun, they were bold, they were amazing characters. And, you come today and you see this more Indian oriented, more Indian influenced or American influenced weird ass dramas that are coming where the women are, not exactly put in a good light. And, even if you have female leads, they're always crying and whining. And so that shows a regression in your society. It shows a regression in the mentality of the people working in the media. It shows a regression of your government as well. Again, keep that in mind, because now look at the government. I mean, this is where I'm actually trying to come at now, where after understanding the basics, now we're going to go into the core problem here. And that is, my point is that when I finally found out that all this vulgarity that people were talking about, they were not talking about that rubbish that we're producing that is Indian soap opera influenced, where you're always seeing family politics and women fighting women and weird ass stuff, soap operatic stuff. No, they were talking about how a Pakistani team made a homosexual drama or something for India. First of all, notice they made it for India. They're not watching. They didn't make it for the Pakistani audience. Now it's a free world, and we've got the internet, and your government is right now always trying to control what you watch on the internet when it comes to their politics. So, but they didn't give a damn about stopping you from watching, homosexual dramas produced by your own country for another country. That in itself says a lot, because number one, it shows that your government is only and only interested in themselves and in their politics and in whatever it is to save their seats. So otherwise, they're really not at all interested in stonewalling you. You can do whatever you want on the internet or watch whatever you want, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It shows that, still some ounce of common sense prevails in everyday life where they're concerned. But it also is a reminder that in this world, a lot of these things are happening. You need to know what's going on. You need to be on top of things. And if you're watching it, it's your prerogative, okay? Nobody can stop you. In Islam, it's the foundation of Islam is you cannot stop somebody from doing anything that they want to, especially if they already know if it's wrong or right, okay? Number two, which actually should have been number one. But anyway, I would have loved it if you people had made so much noise when your own government was producing vulgarity. Okay? When Maryam Nawaz, the international prostitute, or in the international madam of an international prostitution ring, when she decided to humiliate your women, when she decided to let the police misbehave with your women and your men and your kids and your elderly, when she decided to use the ISI to illegally record judges and politicians and ministers and officers in their bedrooms with their wives and then spread it on the internet. I would have loved it if you people had raised your voice that time and said, let's get rid of this government. Let's get rid of the ISIs, the people in the ISI who are responsible for sharing, promoting, advancing, creating, and, spreading vulgarity. Yeah. You know what? You should have done that. Now, if you had actually done that, then I would have actually stood by you. Okay? But no, that time I didn't get any messages from people saying, oh, let's stop the vulgarity, let's stop the government, let's stop the ISI, let's ask them who the hell they are to do this to our people. That is reality. You are mumbling and grumbling and yelling about fiction, but you stayed quiet about reality? Are you serious? I mean, just imagine this is where your priorities lay. That in real life, it doesn't matter what vulgarity is being thrown at you. It doesn't matter that your wives and your daughters are being humiliated by a woman no less, who's commanding other men to humiliate those women of your society. Right? When they spouted vulgarity against Imran Khan's wife, both when they did it against Jemima and today when they're doing it against Bushra Bibi, that time you thought, oh, it's okay, but it's not okay for you to make a homosexual drama that you're making actually for another country. No, that's not okay. Now we need to band together to stop that vulgarity. Listen, get your priorities right. Okay? Get your bloody priorities right. This is why, as a country, as a nation, and as Muslims, you have never succeeded in life, because you do not understand the foundation, the core of Islamic teachings and Islamic rules. You do not understand jack shit about what is right and what is wrong. You do not have priorities, the right kind of priorities. You don't even understand that what is happening in reality is what you need to be fighting against, and not what is created as a world of fiction in a fictitious premise that does not exist. Those are actors, they're play acting. You are actors in a world that actually has consequences. They are actors in a world that has no consequences. You are actors in a world that is controlled and governed by God. They are actors in a world that is controlled and governed by human beings. They are creating fiction that is pure fiction. And you have a problem with that. But you do not have a problem with the fact that Pakistan had actually the largest audience of pornography on the internet. The largest amount of pornography audience is Pakistan on the internet. You did not have a problem when you found out that Nawaz Sharif's minions were masterminds and bosses of child pornography rings in Pakistan. The biggest child pornography ring, behind it was a minister who was directly linked to Nawaz Sharif and his party. That time you did not say, oh, let's just get together and stop these people producing vulgarity. Let's just get rid of these people. Let's kill them all. Let's put them in jail. Let's hang them. That time I did not see all that awareness being spread that let's stop this. That was not vulgarity to you. Oh, that was just shocking. That was shocking for you all to just say, oh, I've got palpitations. I've got palpitations. What is this world coming to? Oh my God, I've got a heart attack. What is this world coming? That's all you people could do. That time you do not want to create and raise awareness that let's get rid of the scum of the earth that are ruining our children's lives, that have made the society and the world for our children unsafe. The fact that your government has literally poured drugs into your schools and your colleges and your universities. And yes, it is the government that is behind it, because if the government was not involved, how could it have spread all the way to kindergarten, in the cafes where children buy their food, in candies, in sweets? How is it that the government and the drug authority are not even aware of it? How is it that your anti-narcotics unit is not aware of it? And that they have done nothing for decades. It's been 2 bloody decades that we've been screaming blue murder about drug abuse here, and about how children are not even aware of how they're getting addicted to drugs in schools and colleges, and then they become addicts, and then they move around like useless pieces of... What the hell are you people? Where the hell were you people then? Why didn't I have the community band together and say, let's ask the anti-narcotics people that, are you motherfucking asleep? Why didn't we then band together and ask the ISI what the frack they're doing? Why didn't we hold our government accountable? Isn't this vulgarity? You're ruining your children's future. You're ruining the future of Pakistan. You're ruining the future of the world, of the civilization. And you are thinking about how we should stop spreading a homosexual drama? Seriously? How many homosexuals in Pakistan have actually raped kids? They were part of that child pornography ring. That time you didn't think that we should just get up and kill them all? That they're ruining kids? That they're raping kids? That they've ganged raped minors? That time nobody thought about how... that is vulgarity spreading, okay? Talking about homosexuality or making a fictitious drama about it, that is not going to do much damage, because you know what? The damage is already done. And I really would have appreciated it. I would have really stood up with you all. I would have actually loved it if you had all stood up like this and said, let's get rid of the government that is spreading vulgarity, entering into people's rooms without their consent, putting up illegal surveillances and recording their bedrooms, recording their sexual acts, recording their romantic talks, which in Islam is the biggest sin you can ever do. In Islam, even if you catch two people in a certain situation, you're supposed to shut your eyes, turn away, and get lost. Do you know that? Did you even know that? You call yourselves Muslims. Did you even know that in Islam, if you find or suspect that two people are in a compromising situation, you are supposed to get the hell out of there and help keep their privacy. And you're not supposed to poke into it. Do you know the hadith of where people actually went to the Prophet and said, we committed so-and-so sexual acts, which we know that is a crime or a sin in Islam, and we don't know what to do now, we need to be punished and all. And the Prophet turned them away thrice at least. And then the fourth time he told them, listen, if you now come to me, I will be forced to punish you. You have prayed with me, you have told me what you've done, you've again prayed with me, you've constantly asked for forgiveness. Now just shut the hell up and go away and change your ways. If you continue it again, and then if you get caught, we'll see about it. But right now, you've come clean. You've got another chance to redeem yourselves. Don't keep on publicizing what you've done. You've realized what you've done. You've realized it's wrong. You're fixing it. Don't publicize it anymore. But what are you people doing? You're publicizing it. That's another thing you're doing wrong. You're publicizing it. So, for example, people like me who don't even know about it, now we know. There are certain sins, there are certain acts of crime that when you publicize them, you actually create more crimes. Because there are so many people who still have no clue as to the existence of certain crimes or certain sins, but now they do, and then they get tempted and they want to see, okay, let's see if we can also do it. This is why we do not publicize crimes, but we publicize, or we should publicize, consequences of those crimes. So instead of publicizing that kids are being raped, you should publicize that a rapist got hanged. That's the way to do it. You people should be ashamed of yourselves, really. You're going about things the wrong way as always. What you need to do is you need to send messages to the whole world right now saying, let's stop this ridiculous vulgarity that our government and our ISI is spreading. We do not want to see the privacy, the intimacy of our fellow individuals being spread on the internet without their consent. Let's stand together and get rid of these people. Yeah, you come to me with that message and I'll stand with you. That's all I have to say. Get your priorities right. And this is me signing out. Khuda Hafiz.